first of the two back-to-back top four matches. The first between NSingman, also known as Bradley, and his opponent ssjoku, known as Joel. Looks like the deck lists we have today are. Oh, I'm joined by Chris. Chris.
Yeah, welcome to our viewers. Thank you for letting me commentate with you.
Yeah, it was
Excited to
definitely an
see this
option.
match going down.
Yeah. But I'm glad to have you here, Chris. I've always enjoyed your presence. And kicking it off
Good to
this.
go. So
I'm sorry.
yeah, good to go. So we already have our first turn,
Yep. Let's see.
and a Llanowar Elves put into play by NSingman.
Joel there up top on an Esper Midrange like Yorion pile versus mono green Planeswalkers on the bottom, piloted by Bradley. See, Burning Tree Emissary is one of the key pieces of this deck, fueling Nykthos, just being a 0 mana 2/2. Multiple Burning Trees is one of the stronger
Wow.
starts that the deck can have. I'd be pretty scared if I was on Joel's side.
Yeah, yeah, that's a great aggro plan and plays very well into what Joel is hoping to do.
Ooh, it looks like a Dovin's Veto on the Oath of Nissa, the recent unban for a pretty powerful green cantrip. Probably. Actually, I'm surprised to see it countered by Dovin's Veto, given that the green decks usually have a lot of Planeswalkers. That might mean that Joel just has a wealth of counter spells in hand. But we will find out.
Yeah, it could be also that he wanted to prevent the extra land drop because Bradley missed land drop, and you can fetch also lands with Oath of Nissa.
Am I missing something, or should he be at one more life? Because I think he took three off that shock. Uh-oh. I'm gonna hop in there
The
real
shock
quick.
was played in the first turn, and
Uh,
it came into play tapped.
the Hollowed Fountain, like just now. It would not
Oh,
surprise
this
me
one.
if I missed something, but I'm gonna, just to be
No,
safe.
the Oath of Kaya gains him free life, so
Well, yeah, but shouldn't he be at 21 then? Because he just took the 2 off the shock and then the 3 off the, or gained 3 off Oath of Kaya. Well, now he just took 4.
yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna hop in there, call real quick, and see what's up. So I will be back. Hey yo, real quick. On that, can y'all hear me? Um, I believe you took an extra point of damage off the Hollowed Fountain. Okay, cool. Just okay. Just making sure. Okay. Yep. All right, cool. Just making sure. Yep. All right. Uh, and
So
I'm
everything's
back.
figured out.
Yeah. There was a mistake with the shock, but they just took one less damage on that last attack, so that it evened out.
Yeah, I thought it was fine in the end. I didn't notice the initial mistake, but in the end, I couldn't
Yeah.
make out what was incorrect. The Oath of Kaya, I think, is buying Joel really much time here
Yeah.
that he
Oath of
will
Kaya,
clearly need.
incredibly strong card. Well, surprisingly strong card, at least. It has seen small amounts of modern play in my Niv Mizzet lists. Uh, not good modern play, mind you, but powerful enough to show up just a little bit there when Yorion was at its peak because of the synergies, the incredibly strong synergies with that card. Yorion coming down as a 5 mana 4/5 flyer, gain 3 life, kill a creature, makes it pretty strong.
Yes,
So,
exactly.
so we have an Oath of Sun from Joel coming in to eat his elf and make a 1/1, as well as gain him even more life. these life gain cards are going to put in a lot of work against this deck, because if it's not slamming Planeswalkers, its game plan is just jam with dorks. And that looks like the plan he's on now. Main phase, Omen of the
Interested
Sea.
to see, yeah, that it was played at sorcery speed. So maybe he has another way to draw an extra card and really wants to know what's on top.
Yeah, it's my vibe is that he's just missing a land drop. Ooh, or just tapping out, you know? You tap out sometimes.
Oh, because of the surveil, maybe?
Yeah, that's probably it. I think you should be surveilling first, though. I guess if you want the information off the card draw. I'm sure Joel is more experienced with this deck than I, though. I have not played a lot of Esper, Yorion, and Pioneer. It was one of the decks I was looking at, though, just because that's my style. We see a Voracious Hydra discarded from Bradley. Not at its best in this matchup, but when it can come down and kill a creature, it's pretty strong. We see an attack with both Burning Trees. Joel not interested in chump blocking. Interesting.
Yeah, I don't think he's
Yeah.
in risk yet.
Interesting.
So might
Bradley
want to keep
missed his
this around.
first land or missed his second land drop, then made his next two and had no play on 4 mana. Makes me curious. What is in his hand?
Now a nasty pot of wheels coming down from Joel.
Not at its best
Immediately
against the creature
using it.
decks, but it is pretty strong. It can dig for Supreme Verdict, which is, I believe, a
I
4
mean,
out of
it's
Joel's deck, and pretty
it
good.
still buys him time, right?
Mm-hmm.
So either Bradley chooses to go face, then he gets 2 cards off of Narset, which is really nice, or he chooses to remove the Planeswalker, which then results into like an extra turn bot.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. Also, notable synergy with Oath of Kaya. The hidden secret text on this card says whenever an opponent attacks a planeswalker you control with one or more creatures, Oath of Kaya deals 2 damage to that player and you gain 2 life. So, really good against these aggro decks, because if he wants to attack the Narset, it goes from gain 3 life to gain, like, I believe he gets multiple triggers for each creature, so that would be gain, like, 7, which is pretty gross. Nykthos coming down from Bradley, one of the cards that made this deck, function at all. But not seeing it super early might be the death knell for Bradley.
Yeah, also that means that he probably just top decked the Nykthos.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, why would he play the Forest instead? So
Yeah. Oh, tapping the Nykthos for 5 for a Nissa who shakes the world. Incredibly strong magic card. Dominated standard for a while. Lets you generate just massive amounts of mana while pumping out 3/3s. And it will probably kill Joel if he doesn't deal with it. But with 3 cards in hand and a Narset, I hope he has some way to deal with it.
hopefully, yeah. I mean, I remember Nissa who shakes the world from a sealed I played with friends, and yeah, we played with 4 players, and the guy who got Nissa in his deck basically won all games. So we gave her the name Nissa who hands the games.
Yeah, if it doesn't get removed pretty much immediately, it can take over the game. That said, it will leave it. Assuming it doesn't ultimate, it would leave Bradley soft to a board wipe just becoming an Armageddon.
Yeah, true.
Seeing some attacks. Oh, we're getting a little bit of lag. I believe it's on my end though. Sorry about that, y'all. An Omen of the Sea before blocks. And let's see. It looks like the scry was one oh it was both bottom. Not finding what he's looking for. I imagine he's just digging for a sweeper. Now he chumps with the soldier.
Yeah, jump blocks.
So if he hasn't found the verdict yet, he has 5 cards off the top to find it with his draw for turn and the Narset activation. That could definitely turn this game around. See it.
Field of Ruins could help him get rid of Nykthos.
Mm-hmm.
And that's exactly what he's doing right now.
Yep.
But it's not that too impactful with Nissa out on the board because his forest tapped for 2 green anyway.
Yeah. And he has just the 1 card in hand. Let's see where this Oath of Kai is going. It is legendary, so he only can have 1 at a time. Looks like killing off the forest.
Kill the forest.
Which is probably the move. It is just like a strictly better card than all of the ones in play right now. So wise decision by Joel to kill the strictly better card.
I'm a bit questioning why he minuses Narset now instead of prior to playing the Oath of Kaya.
Yeah, that might be a missequence. Did he just whiff on the Narset? Oh no.
I didn't see him, yeah. He
It looks
just
like
bought
he
on
did.
4 cards. Mm-hmm.
That's rough, and that might be the death knell from Joel. Getting to untap with Nissa, like it's been a running theme in the matches that I've commentated that there are some cards you just gotta kill. First it was Eidolon and Dreadhorde Arcanist. Now it's Nissa. If it was also Big Teferi. That card is a house. But if Nissa just untaps here, it's looking rough for Joel. He's definitely not out of it. I believe this attack isn't lethal, but that's not really where you want to be. Especially at this point, if he goes to 3 or below, even a sweeper wouldn't do it because the Nissa plus would make another 3/3.
Exactly. Really interesting. I mean, with the Yorion decks, he automatically runs into more variants because he plays a 80 card deck. But he had 6 Chris this game plus 2 Narset activations, so he could dig fairly deep into his deck.
Yeah. He's drawn
He
almost
did
20
not
cards.
find the answers.
But yeah, this is the weakness of Yorion. You get the strength of having a free Yorion in your hand. Costs 3 more, but it's still a free card. But the downside where against these aggro decks and these combo decks where you need specific answers, like Supreme Verdict in this case, or depending on the combo deck, various answers, you just get less of them. There is that one strength that the Niv-Mizzet decks have where they get to run 4 Bring to Light, which is just another copy of every single spell in their deck. But Joel did not make that decision.
Yeah, he neither found a Supreme Verdict nor did we see a Fatal Push from him, which would help.
Bradley, who seems like in the lead, is in the tank for a while now. So I'm curious as to what his card in hand was. Castle.
But Bradley only top decking lands here. Really interesting.
Yeah, but lands and Nissa might might just do it. Alright, and we're seeing an attack with everything. I would imagine all it faces. The Narset's not doing much anymore. Yep.
Also, it gains him life if he attacks it soon.
Oath of Kaya, yeah, gains him life if Narset gets attacked.
Exactly. So, as long as he doesn't want to draw extra cards per turn, which he couldn't do anyway.
Yeah, I don't think there's
see
a card
reason.
in his deck that does that. But yeah. So Joel at 2 here. He needs more than a sweeper to survive.
That's game.
Yep, that's the game. Bradley taking game 1. Alright, let's look at these sideboards.
What types of sideboard cards would you expect to come in for Joel?
So, Joel's sideboard has the one of Yorion, of course, that's his companion. The Shatter, which seems really good. Other notable cards. I'm not sure if Dovin's Veto is good in this matchup.
I'm experiencing a big of lag for you. I don't know.
Uh-oh. Let me try closing things. Bonk.
It's really great if you can hit like a Nissa, but he plays a lot of creatures, so it might be a dead card a lot of the time. But probably I would still keep it in against most of these planeswalkers. It seems very effective.
Yeah, I would. I think because it answers Nissa, Vivian, and Karn, which are all pretty important, that you would leave it in. I don't know if you
Sideboard.
bring in the other ones. But yeah, there's also an Elspeth Conquers Death in Joel's sideboard. Is the lag any better? Uh-oh.
Um, yeah, sometimes I have troubles understanding you, but
Yeah, sorry
hopefully
about
the
that.
streamers can hear you clearly.
Yeah, sorry to any Twitch viewers out there. Technical difficulties on my end. All right, we're back in the game. We didn't get a chance to talk about the mono green sideboard, but most of it is devoted to Karn and Nissa, or Karn and Vivian. I'm sorry, who can pull from the sideboard. Looks like notable inclusions are, or in this matchup at least, are 3 heroic interventions, which are basically Veil of Summer, but you don't draw a card. And it also stops Supreme
Yes.
Verdict, which is a key card in this matchup.
Exactly. I also would expect these 3 heroic interventions to come in. And then he, of most of the cards, expects Hunter x Hunter. He only has 1 copy, so that really speaks for that Carnegrade creator game plan.
Yeah. Karn is powerful, but if you can support it by both your deck building, in that you need to make a lot of mana, and you have to give up large chunks of your sideboard, which oftentimes is worth it, like in this case. So another
And
turn
like
two
last
burning,
game,
yeah, another turn two burning tree. He played his land first, so he doesn't have the Nykthos this time. But this sequencing lets him attack with the Llanowar Elves. Let's see. The Oath of Nissa does not get vetoed this time. And that 1 red mana probably can't do much. Oh, and
ooh,
there's the
and he finds a
Nykthos.
Nykthos.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Probably not getting too punished unless he has exactly another Burning Tree Emissary. Because that's the only way Nykthos nets mana this turn. But he is setting up for some big plays next turn. He'll have
Yeah, he
access
already
to,
has
yeah.
5 devotion.
Mm-hmm. Ooh, Teferi 3. Powerful magic card. Not as powerful when your opponent has a bunch of 1/1s and 2/2s. Bouncing. Oh. What are they bouncing? They are in a Discord call as of now, so we are not privy to their conversations, like when they're just over text. Oh, I think I'm
Yeah, it's a really
experiencing.
hard decision here, actually.
Mm-hmm. You gotta bounce something. I don't think you can just uptick. Teferi would survive till you untap, and if you can go exactly Teferi plus into untap land instant speed verdict, that could be good. But it looks like he doesn't have that. Bouncing the Burning Tree Emissary is interesting here because it's free. So he's effectively
Yeah,
just like stopping it from attacking for 1 turn.
exactly. He doesn't want to get the 2 damage.
But
And
now,
Teferi dies anyway, so
well, but now it has to be attacked with a Llanowar Elf. But I guess that's like you could just bounce a Llanowar Elf and not have to get that like give Bradley the option of having an extra mana or leaving you with a Teferi. Because it wouldn't surprise me at all if Teferi just doesn't really matter in this matchup. Like once it's minus, so you can just like play Burning Tree and ignore the Teferi until it's about to minus again, or just kill it next
yeah.
turn.
I mean, the decision to bounce the 2-drop here probably was simply because he saw the Nykthos, so he, yeah, in
Yeah,
order to activate the Nykthos, he either has to, play his drop first, but then he can't attack Teferi.
yeah. Tapping the 2 Llanowar Elves to cast the Burning Tree is interesting. Unless we see a Nissa from Bradley. Oh,
Yeah, yeah. He needed
and
it
there it
because
is.
yeah,
Yeah, I was gonna
that's a bit
say.
unfortunate for UL.
Yeah, you really want to answer Nissa with a counterspell because it basically just comes in and makes a 3/3 instantly. It's almost like an ETB ability because you have priority as soon as the Planeswalker resolves. But Nissa into Vivian on turn 3. This is brutal. I'm gonna be
And an
honest.
untapped forest
Mm-hmm.
into a land.
And this forest will get to kill Teferi.
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
that is an
Like,
amazing showing of the power of the green
mm-hmm. If you don't disrupt
planeswalker
it
deck here.
early, it will run over you. And Vivian, it has its secret hidden -3. It's mostly used for its +1, which puts 2+1/+1 counters on any creatures you control and gives them trample for a turn. Looks like that's what was done here on the forest. Oh, and just going face, probably because Teferi doesn't really matter in this matchup outside of exactly instant speed verdict. I still would have liked to see a kill on Teferi because that card can run away with games even in matchups where it's not that great.
Yeah, but I mean, if he plays the Supreme Verdict right now, I guess he will play it anyway
Yeah.
in his turn. So if it's
Oh.
sorcery speed or instant speed doesn't really matter.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was confused as to what happened, but it looks like a concession from NSingman. All right, that was a pretty quick match, about 30 minutes.